Get ready for the king.
Setting on me.
All right, there we go.
These are the ones I'm reading.
And we are live with another episode of State of X. It's that show brought to you by the Keeg where we talk about Marvel's Merry Mutants. Can they even be called that anymore? I'm not quite sure. But basically, it's our X-Men podcast that we do once a month to keep everybody out there informed on what is going on with X-Men. Because even if you can't read the comics or you've fallen behind, listen to the podcast and maybe we can catch you up on everything. There's a lot going on with X-Men right now, and I guess X-Men all the time in general. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera. If you're watching us live, you're watching us on twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show. Or maybe you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that stuff. We are there. But basically, let me introduce my two guests. It has been a couple months since we had this, we've had this monthly podcast. Last time, and again, we got Aaron Rhodes, aka King Krakoa. Aaron, how's it going, man?
It is going quite well, as always. I'm happy to be here in this beautiful X-related world.
X-related world. That can mean so many things, but thank you, Aaron, for being here. We also got I don't want to say newcomer because he's been here before, but not on State of X because this is only the second episode of State of X. Because this is April 1st, 2024. For anyone who wants to know, we got Gil Baron, aka GJ Baron, aka.
I didn't know you were King Krakoa, Aaron. Jeez.
That's Aaron's username.
I bow down.
Thank
Krakoa.
you. I appreciate you. Krakoa thanks you. Krakoa thanks you.
You gotta be really into X-Men to be able to keep up with everything X-Men, right?
Oh yeah.
True.
Like, it's not for the faint of heart.
It's not. It's definitely not. It never has been. It's always been a very massive web that they weave. In any era that you go into, you're gonna be kind of confused, but you're gonna love the ride.
If we're and I think you guys would be the person to ask. Originally we had the X-Men comics, and then the first spinoff was New Mutants, right?
Yep.
And then the second one is X Factor.
Yes.
Which is the original 5 X-Men.
I'm trying to see if Wolverine.
Oh.
There were a bunch of miniseries in the 80s before.
Yeah, that's right. They did a lot of
miniseries. Happens.
I'm sure Dazzler got a miniseries.
There was a Dazzler. Yeah, Dazzler had her own series.
Yeah, Dazzler and Beast had a miniseries that nobody talks about. That they dated. That was a thing that.
Wait, who dated?
The world doesn't talk about it. Yeah, Beast and there was a miniseries called Beauty and the Beast with Dazzler and Beast where they had this little thing. Okay. It's weird, but yeah, it was a. Yeah, they kind of just say we don't talk about Bruno in that moment because no one ever talks about it again. Like, we don't even see them in a room together again, though.
You know what? I'm wrong. Wolverine premieres right around the same time as New Mutants.
Okay.
Like a couple issues into New Mutants, the Wolverine miniseries starts.
Okay. That's when the obsession for Wolverine began, and everyone just wants to let him go.
It was Frank Miller. If you put Frank Miller on a book, the bros are going to show up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Oh my God, that's so true. That is so true.
And this is already after Miller reinvents Daredevil, so he's already a god to many people at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a man's man for sure.
I'm looking at what X-Men titles came out, and of course, we got Uncanny X-Men, we got X Factor, Excalibur also comes out. Alpha Flight gets their own comic series.
Then New Mutants turns into X-Force.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Generation X.
I was just about to say Generation X later on.
Well, yeah, but then X-Force turns into X-Statix.
Oof.
With
Well,
the same,
yeah.
with the same numbering.
That was a
Well,
moment.
it was when X-Force becomes the new X-Force, they keep the same numbering.
Oh God.
And then
Yeah.
they change the title Ecstatics. This is like a huge. I mean, this is the show we're gonna like to.
But
do
Ecstatics is so outside of.
Very much so.
right. But then
Like-
X-Force fights Ecstatics because of copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Because they were like reality stars. Like that was the
Yep.
premise of the book.
They were the New Warriors before the New Warriors.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And by the way, at various points, because like the writers are working on other projects, like Power Pack becomes kind of an X-Men adjacent book. Thor becomes kind of an X-Men adjacent book. Currently, Iron Man is an extra X-Men book.
Very X-Men book
You know.
now.
So
Who would have ever thought that?
I'm gonna throw out books that came out in came out this month of March, let's just say, because that are X-Men or X-Men related books that came out. X-Men 32, Ultimate X-Men 1, Miss Marvel Mutant Menace 1, Weapon X-Men 1, Wolverine 45, Fall of the House of X 3, Rise of the Powers of X 3, Dead X-Men 3, Invincible Iron Man 16, X-Men Forever 1, Resurrection of Magneto 3, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver 2. I threw that in there as an X-Men related title.
Yeah, why not?
Though it doesn't really deal with what's going on right now. We got Wolverine Madripoor Nights 2, which I don't think is a current, it's not present day title? I don't know. I'm not reading it.
I don't know.
It's a flashback title.
Okay. Wolverine 46, X-Force 50, X-Men 97 number 1, which again does not tie in with this, ties in with the cartoon series, and then Cable number 3. That's everything that came out this last month with X-Men titles. And it's a lot of titles, and no one's reading all of them, right? Are any of you guys reading all of those? You read every single one of the ones that I named.
Except for the Madripoor one.
Okay.
I skimmed
Aaron's missing
it.
the Madripoor. Gil?
I skimmed it.
Okay.
It's Claremont. Claremont really loved his story where he had Black Widow, Captain America, and Wolverine all team up. So he just decided to expand on that.
They let them be friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've read most of those. I think the ones that I missed was I didn't read X-Men 97 number 1, and I didn't read Madripoor Nights, but I think I read everything else. Yeah, I read everything else. A couple of these don't have to do with the current X-Men story that's going on right now. The ones that are not included are Ultimate X-Men 1, Weapon X-Men number 1, Scarlet and Quicksilver 2, Wolverine Madripoor Nights 2, and then X-Men 97 number 1.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think did X-Men 97 no, so I haven't read X-Men 97 and Ultimate X-Men 1 or 2.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm missing a few. I am still scared to read Ultimate X-Men but as
I
for
skimmed that too. It was hard for me to track.
I'll give my opinion on it, and might as well get it out of the way.
yeah, we have a similar opinion. Go ahead.
I mean, I just have a problem with the Ultimate Universe right now in general, because the Ultimate Universe, it isn't the Ultimate Universe. Like, why are they calling it 1610?
They lied.
It's not
Thank
1610 because 1610 exists at the end of Spider-Man 2 issue 6. The end of that miniseries, they reveal that the original Ultimate Universe has healed itself, and there's a re of the Ultimate Universe at the tail end of that book, and that it ends on a quick Easter egg thing of this new Ultimates team, and then that's it. And this is an altered timeline of the 616 due to the maker.
Right.
But
not even 616. It's a whole nother universe.
Well, but it wasn't originally. It branches off into a whole nother universe. The maker, as far as I can recollect, it's the maker. He went to a specific moment in the timeline and branched it off. So it should be the same, right?
I thought this is a different universe altogether.
I could be wrong.
616.
I could be wrong. He could have gone to an almost nearly identical universe.
Yeah, I hope that's the case because, but if he did that, then I would have accepted that more than them just saying going to this random universe and saying, "Oh, this is 616, this is 1610 now,"
Yeah.
and I would prefer that more though.
Right. Do you guys have a problem, Gil? I feel like you're more laid back when it comes to when it comes to me and being like a continuity whore and needing to make sense of everything. Gil has always
so
been
much.
so laid back.
You have to let go of it at some. It's got to be about, because you can drive yourself crazy, but it's not going to
Yeah.
change much.
Yeah.
Marvel needs to atone for their ultimate shenanigans. Is what it is.
Specifically when it comes to the Ultimate Universe or with the 616?
Well, it's
a universe that's been going for 60 plus years at this point, and there's gonna be inconsistencies, and there's retcons, and there's you can get a no prize for thinking it through and making it work and whatever. But in the end, it should be about the story you're reading at this moment. Like, is it emotionally resonant? Is there a theme? Do the characters feel like themselves?
Right.
I'm much more about the vibes than than the sticklerness. Like, if we forget, Professor X's mom's name, I'll be okay.
No, wait,
Sharon.
what is it?
It's Sharon. It's Sharon.
Sharon. They were talking about Cerebrocast.
Yep.
It's because
I love that episode too.
I forget. Is it because Chris Claremont's mom is Sharon?
I think so. I think it was.
I think it's Catherine.
Oh, Catherine Ann. That's why he has two. I was listening to the Hepzibah episode, and they're talking about there's two Catherine Anns.
He does love a bitch named Catherine. He does love
There's two Catherine Anns. There's Kitty Pryde, and I forget who the other one was.
Summers. Catherine Ann Summers.
Catherine Ann Summers.
That's right.
Havoc's daughter from Alternate Universe.
Havoc's mom.
Havoc's mom is too? Oh my god. So that's three.
Havoc's daughter is different.
Havoc's daughter's name is Catherine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Probably after his mother. Right?
Oh, Katie. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, named after his mom. Yeah.
Who is still lost in time.
Still lost in time. People don't talk about that. I thank you for saying that, because that has been a point of contention for me. She's just out there in the world, and we just will never get the daughter of Havoc and the Wasp ever again.
Right.
And that's a bridge. She's a bridge to mutant human relations, man. We need that.
But I guess Gil doesn't care about the minutia that is time travel, lost.
I care about her when there's a story about her.
Okay.
When someone comes up with a great Catherine Summers story, Katie Summers story, and let her come out from the time stream and have a character arc and something emotional, and it affects Havoc and it affects Polaris, and who's the mom? Wasp.
Yeah.
Wasp. Yeah.
And it affects Wasp, and it affects Madeline Pryor, and affects all these people that are in the orbit of the Summerses. Great, that's a story.
Yeah,
I can't care about whether they get her eye color right.
No, I'm with you there. My big concern when it comes to
there are people who really do care. There are people who get really upset.
I staunchly care. Actually,
does Bruce Wayne need to have blue colored eyes?
No.
No, I don't think he does,
I mean, look, there's also amazing things that come out of continuity. Bruce Wayne became accidentally Jewish because of Kate Kane, right?
Yeah.
What a great way to back into, for years people were like, oh yeah, he's just a wasp. He's
side note.
Or there was that miniseries in the 90s where he was Catholic, where he was Scottish. And then you're wait, we created this character, Kate Kane, and that means Bruce's mom was Jewish, which means she got Hanukkah. In the last issue of Batman, they're oh, one time when we were celebrating Hanukkah, and I'm
there we go. There we go. It's the little wins,
right?
Yeah.
Little diversity wins.
When it comes to my just big concern about the multiverse and all that stuff is the rules of it, right? So what DC did when they did Infinite Crisis, and the end of the end of the 52 maxi series is that they said there are 52 worlds, but instead of having them be altered timelines off the same point, they said like Mr. Mind essentially ate reality from each world in different ways, which created its own thing. I like that because like anything's possible. You can have the Dinosaur Justice League. Dinosaur Justice League's not an altered timeline. It's like its own
its own thing altogether.
So I just think it needs to make sense.
52 seems pretty limiting.
Oh yeah. That part.
But look, I've always said I just don't like the multiverse generally. Like I like that it exists. I just don't need a lot of stories there because the characters end up like
at least stick to the rules.
Not meaning much.
Stick to the rules. Time travel, altered timelines, those are different than a multiverse. Like a separate universe is not an alternate timeline. Those are two different things.
God.
Yeah, see, I honestly kind of like it. The only reason I like alternate universes versions because we get to see characters go down different paths, and we get stories that we would have never otherwise gotten.
Yeah.
Like one big example is for me is X-Men Forever. It's an alternate universe where Storm actually becomes evil, and she ends up killing Black Panther and like taking over Wakanda. Like that, like it's stories where I would have never thought I would have wanted to see Storm evil, and I'm like, and it works. Like but it's little stories like that that I love, but sometimes it can get. Let's be real. In the past 5 years, the multiversal game in everything has gotten really filled. I will say.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I love like I love the brain game of like what would the world be like if such and such happened, right? The whole what if thing. I guess the thing I don't like about it is sometimes it makes things not matter because within a story you're going to be like, okay, well, Rachel Summers left her universe to come to our universe, and now she's just living in our universe, and people act like she moved from Atlanta to Chicago. Like it's like if you think about it, if you woke up and the world was the same except for one thing and you realized you were in an alternate universe, that's a horror movie. That's not, I just moved into a new place. Like, alternate universe stories should be the most horrific, scary things you've ever seen. And, when you get to something like The Flash on CW, people treat it like, all right, I guess I live in this universe now. And like, it doesn't matter to them.
At least The Flash delves into a couple of things in that TV show. That,
like Diggle and his daughter. The whole Diggle having a daughter and not having and having a son and not having a son anymore, or a daughter not having a daughter. Yeah,
like that's got to be the scariest thing in the world. It's got to be.
They deal with that, right? Like that being a big deal. That's
one of the few instances we get like that.
Yeah. I mean, what I was thinking of was Jessie Quick because she literally is just like, I'm going to live in this universe now. That was literally a thing that happened, and I was just like, okay, it doesn't make because.
Yeah, you don't know if it's a secret fascist universe, right? Don't they do that on Sliders and stuff?
Yeah, I mean that was a common thing on Sliders. It's like, oh, we found paradise, and then it turns out they, their version of the lottery is they murder you if you win.
Yeah. It's like, don't be universe hopping like that. Like, come on, you gotta be careful.
Yeah. Speaking of, I hope you guys all got your $1 billion tickets.
For what? For the
lottery, baby. Powerball.
For the fascist murder fest?
Yeah, fascist murder fest.
No. No. So what's going on with X-Men right now is they are winding down this Krakoan age. I want to know what you guys think about it, and then at the end of this episode we will talk about the titles and things that have been announced. With some of these lineups.
For sure.
How are you guys liking the way the Krakoan age is coming to a close right now? We got essentially the big stories, the big stuff that matter are obviously Rise of the Powers of X, Fall of the House of X, and then also Dead X-Men is telling another story that's tying in, and then X-Men Forever they just released issue 1 of X-Men
Yeah.
Forever. That's been answering some questions. How are you guys liking what's going on right now?
Gil, you want to take it first?
I don't know that I can distinguish between most of the titles right now because I feel like whatever comes out that week, I read in order, and it's sort of the ongoing story of the X-Men, right?
Right.
So right now they're in a place where they are trying to Xavier's trying to make it so Krakoa never happened, which would save Moira from becoming the AI horror that she is, and essentially keep the last Hellfire Gala from happening. And they're
Right.
trying to go back and make that not have happened. So
We're talking about
Professor
when he's trying to kill Moira as a kid.
trying to kill her Moira as a kid. Spoiler alert, that doesn't work. And he comes back to the present time, and extra spoiler alert, something goes on with Rachel Summers. That,
I mean, we can
gosh,
spoil it.
yeah.
I mean, this is literally the show to spoil everything so that
well, he shoots her. We don't know what that
he
means.
shoots. I thought he stabs her with a sword.
Oh, is that what happened?
Right.
No,
he shoots her. He shot her.
He shoots her.
It's a shot. I thought it was a sword.
It's a shot.
Yeah.
So we don't know what
It's a shot.
what the gun is. We don't know if it's Forge's, Power's gun. We don't know. It could be.
Oh my god!
What?
It could be his power gun.
Yeah,
That looks exactly like the gun too.
Yeah, it looks very similar. We don't know if it's like a teleporter gun. Like, it could be a million different things. We don't really know.
Right.
I think we know, spoiler alert, from future solicits that Rachel isn't going to die, that she and Captain Britain now have a series coming up.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Hopefully that is good. I'm sure that'll be great.
Oh yeah.
But so I guess in my fantasy, in my own personal little, Gil has everything he wants world, I thought Hickman would come back for one last little arc. I thought that he would, come back to finish it up. I thought everyone was kind of working from his notes, and that he'd come back to sort of end it. And he didn't. That's a little sad for me. So, there's stuff that's fun and interesting, and I really liked the Trial of Cyclops. I liked the way the X-Men have fought back against Orcus. Yeah. I really liked Iron Man in the Outback. A lot of cool stuff has happened, and I liked the Kamala Khan stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like generally the whole ending could have been smarter, and I think that had Hickman finished up his run, or had it really had his fingerprints on it, and I know they're all working from his notes, and I'm sure they're taking off from all of that, but I just the Krakoan age started with such promise, and I wish that it ended more with a bang, and I feel like it's kind of fizzling out, and I don't know if other people feel that way, but
I think that they had a really good takeoff, and it's a very heavy plane. So as long as they land the plane and they don't crash it, I think we're fine. It doesn't have to be the nicest landing.
Right.
As long as they land it, I can tie a bow on it and be like, that's what this is. I am afraid of what's to come.
Afraid of it?
Oh, and by the way, I did look it up right now. It's because I got it mixed up because Rasputin the Fourth stabs Cypher, Sinister, and then Xavier shoots Rachel, and then in X-Men Forever #1, it ends with Rachel saying, "Are you going to resurrect the Phoenix?" And that's a different series. I think he's shooting her to resurrect the Phoenix. Boom.
I see. This is my theory. I don't think that he's trying to kill Moira to make sure Krakoa never happens. I think he is trying to kill her to make sure that what happened in Krakoa doesn't happen. But I think what they're doing is because the Dead X-Men series kind of I feel like he's trying to get the information from Moira before so he can make Krakoa happen, but without her assistance and her guidance, and without falling into the the traps of what they did fall into.
Yeah.
And the only reason I say that is
You don't
solely
put
for
Sinister on the Quiet Council.
that's really it. That's really the real big issue here. Like, let's just not put him on the council and we're good. Like, the whole thing is fine. Like,
I
we like and Beast. Like, Beast is also the big problem as well. Like, let's not forget
look,
he's
there's
a
been a lot of
genocidal
problems.
monster.
He can't cherry pick what are the bad things that can't happen because then he would just well,
Very
first thing
true.
we know in Rise of the Powers of X #3 that like he doesn't kill Moira, but instead he
Yeah.
implants something telepathically into her.
Yeah,
think-
exactly.
I thought what he implanted was forgetting that
The knowledge of
He implants something. I think it's a trigger.
I think I think it's a trigger to remember everything. Like it's like how in Extermination, when the old X-Men, when the past X-Men went back to the future and then they remembered everything at a certain point of time. I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's going to let her know everything that she did during that time and how it fell apart, and then like she's going to hopefully change the past. Maybe like I hope that's where they go with it.
I'm a sucker for psychic triggers. When it
Yes,
comes
I am
down
too.
to it, the Deus
I
Ex
am too.
Machina, I get like Deus Ex Machinas are like
I love that shit.
overplayed and like you
Yeah.
don't like suddenly somebody appears, but the idea of a psychic trigger Deus Ex Machina, I love it because they did that with, and maybe you liked it or didn't like it. They did it when they sent the original 5 X-Men back to where they left.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
And they erased their
The
mind,
extermination.
but they put the psychic trigger to restart in the future so that they can get all the memories and that growth as a character.
Right.
I like that
But
a
without
lot.
without changing the future. Exactly. I love
Without
that.
changing the future, but
That's
also
exactly what I
having
was
the
talking about.
growth of the past.
Exactly that they had. Exactly. Because that exactly what I was talking about. Because that point, that growth that they got changed those characters for good, for anything, for good
Yeah.
or evil. Like, and I love that you reference that because that's exactly what I was that I love they did, and I feel like that's what they're going to do with this.
So in this issue with the psychic trigger, Xavier decides not to kill Moira. He says, I won't destroy Krakoa. I'll save mutant kind the other way. And then Moira says, what are you doing? Xavier says, I'm hoping you will make the right decision in the end, that you think of something other than yourself. He says, listen, Moira. Then there's a panel of her getting a thing, whatever. And then she goes, what? And he goes, and you will forget all of this.
Right.
So he didn't wipe her memory until the next panel after that, because then she has a thing popping up again. He implants a psychic trigger of some sort.
Right. Yeah.
But again,
Like,
I'm a
to
sucker
remember
for it, so
something
I'm here
certain
for it.
time.
If at the last moment, the last couple of pages, something happens, you're like, the good guys can't possibly win. And then that's the trigger, and then Moira's like, oh.
Yep.
I don't know what's going to happen,
wait.
but it's going to be something.
Yeah. Like this Fall of X thing has been really crazy. I love that we're finally getting to see the ramp up of the assault on Orcus. I think that's been one of those things that I've been low key very much waiting for. I do love the slow build of everything of the little pieces coming together in each book, and kind of bringing it to a head in this, like especially with the Iron Man stuff, like of how he's been working in the background and him and Emma doing their thing, and his whole like creating the armor behind everyone's back, in front, behind Phelan's back. I love that. It's been I kind of course, like I say, always Sync, the star power that Sync has been getting, like running all this, has been crazy. But yeah,
I want to see what happens with him at the end. I was a Gen X head for sure, so I love that Sync is like such a bigger star. I feel like we don't get a lot of interiority with him, like just in the writing, and maybe I just feel like there should be more. Like, we kind of know his problems. We know that like he's sort of killing himself to like utilize everyone's powers that he's ever been in contact with. So the question is like, does he at the end of this get reset to kind of proper age and to be
Right.
a cohort of people, or like is he going to be old man Everett for the rest of for
Yeah.
I mean, they're okay. So here's my thing. I don't think they're gonna rewrite time with this, right? I think Krakoa will end and we continue the story forward post Krakoa, which means all these characters. Do you guys think that all these dead characters are going to be able to come back? I'm asking
yeah.
specifically.
do
What'd you say?
because what's going on with Quentin Quire right now?
Right, Quentin
Yes.
and Dakin in
Quentin's
Wolverine.
Dakin's not staying dead. Quentin's a head
Right, a head in a jar. Right, we
in
can't
a
have
fucking
that.
jar.
Yeah.
Right. But we know that he somehow becomes not a head in the jar because they express that this happens before X Fall
X-Force?
of X. Yeah, yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
what
the
happens first, Wolverine or X-Force? Because X-Force just
Sabretooth
finished.
Wars.
X-Force happens.
Apparently Sabretooth Wars happens after before, I mean.
Sabretooth Wars before X-Force 50?
No.
Yeah. Wait, let me look back at the thing.
X-Force happens first,
intro.
and then they go back to the Antarctic or whatever their base is, and then all the Wolverine and Sabretooth stuff happens.
And
that makes more sense because they use the Antarctic base as like a refuge.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they may mess up on that concept because it says prior to after Fall of X. I'm stupid. I'm back, guys. That's my fault. I'm back. I'm smart, guys. I'm smart.
Okay. We do know actually Quentin is one of the X-Men in the X-Men upcoming title, X-Men #1.
Yeah, he is. Which I was very shocked about. That lineup,
we'll get to the lineup. I mean, we can get to what's to come unless you guys have any thoughts about what has been happening right now. Because
the big thing out.
The comics that, I mean, Rise and the Fall stuff ends at the end of May, I believe.
Yeah.
The final issue. It's 5 issues per. Basically, what's coming up in April, we got X-Men 33. We got Deadpool #1. For some reason, it starts off next month, a new Deadpool series. But okay. Wolverine 47, Ultimate X-Men 2, Invincible Iron Man 17, Resurrection of Magneto 4, Miss Marvel.
Wait, Resurrection still has another issue left?
That's weird, right? Because I thought at the end of this last issue, it would have just ended.
It felt like an ending to me, but
no, great. There's another issue.
All right, I'm on board. I thought that book was great.
Yeah, Dead X-Men 4. That's X-Men Forever 2. I don't know how many issues X-Men Forever is, but like
4 or 5, I think.
It can't be 4 or 5 because we don't have that many months. It has to be 3 at most.
Let me check my preview book real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on in this uncanny promo? Christ.
What's up?
I'm looking at the promo for the Gail Simone David Marquez.
Uh-huh.
And like I know they aged up Jubilee and like she's sort of like the father is sort of like Bimbo Jubilee now from like what's the name of that series?
Exterminators?
Exterminators. But that is a Jubilee that's all boobs and legs. It's 2 boobs on toothpicks. Yeah,
the artist, I don't know what the artist is doing, but the artist also makes Cyclops look younger, and everybody's afraid that they're going to de-age Cyclops. But
he does look very young.
This is all 3 teams, so these are different artists.
Yeah. But also, actually, no, it's all the same. It's the same artist, but not the interior. These promotional ones are by Ryan Stegman and Marte Gracia, but each series is a different artist. Yeah. Ryan Stegman's on one, David Marquez is on another, and then Carmen Carnero is
I'm looking at the signatures at the bottom of each team. So Stegman is the penciler on all of them, but they don't all have. There's I think 2 of them have the same inker, and I think there's the colorist. Okay. Weird.
Yeah. It's super weird. Well, I guess before we get to what's to come, I mean, do we have any more thoughts about the end of this Krakoan age and like how you think it's gonna happen? There's gonna be an appearance by the Phoenix. I think the Phoenix will resurrect a bunch of people. Right?
Well,
yeah, for sure.
Come out of the White Hot Room. Like, the entire mutant population is living in the White Hot Room right now. They all have to come out of it, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that has to happen. I'll tell you the thing that disappointed me, because the setup for it was during the Hickman stuff was Colossus being mind controlled by Mikhail.
Yeah.
I thought the wrap up of that was so fast.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Yeah.
And that was
Force. Yeah.
And like the fact that he was being mind controlled was so, like, you know,
for years. For years, 3 Hellfire Galas happened before that thread got pulled.
I think Colossus, and like I said, I'm reading through Fatal Attractions right now, so there's another like Colossus suffering story.
Yeah.
Colossus is the Miles O'Brien of the X-Men universe. He is like made to suffer. Like, people love watching Colossus just fucking suffer.
Because he's like a gentle giant in a way, right?
I mean, he was, but I mean, look, he's a gentle giant in the beginning of X-Men.
Yeah,
he's
for sure.
Mutant Massacre, I think, is what changes him, right?
Oh, like, that changes him for sure.
Completely changed. Like, he kills someone, and like that just like his character. The legacy story, which is, like I said, what I'm reading, this Fatal Attractions, the death of his parents and his brother, like, really fucks him up until he becomes an acolyte. And then he really hasn't been repaired since then. I mean, there was a little while where he was the Juggernaut. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Actually. Huh?
I love that moment, actually.
People love that.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool evolution. I'm just not sure who he is right now, except someone who's like super angry and just would rather just be anywhere except with the X-Men, you know?
Right.
All we know is that there are essentially 4 issues left on this main story to wrap up Krakoa. There's 2 issues of Rise and 2 issues of Fall.
Right. And they just ended X-Force 50. That was one of those stories that I was waiting for as well. Like,
it was a quick wrap up.
It was. I didn't like how they ended that quick for Beast. I feel like Beast not deserved, but he should have gotten a longer. They should have held that out. Like, the way he died was very anticlimactic, and I hope that he is alive somewhere. But like, because he was one of the people that I really wanted to like hear about the most after like the fall of X, after the Hellfire Gala. Because Beast.
Evil Beast.
Yeah, right. Like, the Beast was one of the first people I wanted to know about, because I'm like, I know he must be beside himself right now. He did all this for mutant kind just for you, the time that you were not there and not doing it, and this is what happens. And like, for you not to have seen this coming, like, okay, crazy.
Right.
And then we find out he kind of did see this coming, but did nothing about it. And like, I wanted to see more of that. I didn't like how they kind of wrapped him up that quick.
Well, it's not wrapped up yet. I mean, we're still in X-Force, right? We're still...
X-Force 50 ended
50
it.
was the final issue. Yeah. This was the final issue.
I'm going to go back and read that right now.
Did you... I mean, the ending is literally 1 page of Beast going, actually, I'm going to take the bomb away to save Wonder Man, I think?
I don't know. To save Wonder Man! Like, what? Like, and it wasn't technically a bomb.
Yeah, but his other X-Men characters aren't his friends?
Okay, thank you. Like, you know, the people that you actually grew up with, like, not this guy that you used to be roommates with for like a little bit and were like on a team with for like 5 minutes, like, get out of here. I do appreciate the friendship that they have, though. I did like the young Beast moment.
They make an effort to say that Beast and him haven't talked for a couple years.
Yeah.
Since Krakoa started.
Which is probably why he's, you know, gone so off the rails, right?
Right.
Because he doesn't have, like, you know, the thing about Hank McCoy is that he thinks he knows better than everyone. And when he looks at the other X-Men, where he's always been the smart one, he does know better than them. And I just think, I think Beast cares more about what humans think than what mutants think.
Oh, for sure.
Like I think
Yes.
when he looks at mutants, he's like, I'm the smartest one of you guys, and I think he wants to look good in front of humans.
I'm
So
one of the good ones.
I'm one of the good
Yeah.
ones, and I
Yeah.
think that like his, I think Wonder Man just brought out the best in Henry.
For
Just brought
sure.
out the best version of him because he kind of wanted to look the best in front of him. So I don't know.
Right.
I'm rereading this. Yeah, I thought it was Okay, I'm looking at this again. I thought it was ambiguous about what happened.
Yeah, his death is ambiguous because like we don't see his death. He just takes the bomb underwater and then it explodes.
That's Bad Beast, right? Who did that?
What's up? Yeah, Bad Beast. Good Beast,
Yeah.
the younger mind Good Beast is alive. So now they've done that
Right.
switcheroo and we can have Old Beast back again.
Right. The only reason I think that the only reason I thought that maybe okay he's gonna be alive somewhere later on, but the only reason I thought that was I thought that he died was because in the next issue, the next panel, they say one beast got atomized, the other got thing, and usually they don't like
Right.
specify the death in a like caption unless like it's for real.
They
So,
wrap
but
it up
you
real
know
quick.
you guys still have that, yeah. But
One
they still
got
have he's maybe in the backup somewhere, you know.
All right, so he's moving in with Wonder Man. That can only be good, right?
That can only, yeah, I think that'll be a good moment. I think
think
that they're going to end up having a miniseries or something.
yeah, give him a miniseries. Take him away from the X-Men. Like we don't.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not. He's clearly going to be in one of the X-Men series. Sorry.
Oh yeah, he's in. Oh yeah, that's right. He's in the
Jed McKay book.
Yeah. So let's talk about the books to come.
Yeah.
First things first is that there's supposed to be 18 issues a year for Adjectiveless X-Men, which is just the X-Men title, and
Okay.
Uncanny X-Men. There's going to be 18 issues for the first year.
I feel like that's
Between both or of
No,
each?
18 and 18. It's been
Okay.
announced.
Cool.
Yeah. But that makes me think there's a crossover event that they're gonna double up because 18 is 12 and 6, right? So once a month and then 6 more issues,
Okay.
which makes it seem like there's 2 months of 4 issues each.
Sure.
Yeah, there might be a 2 for
Like 2
week
months
or so, a
straight
month
of
or
like
so.
weekly titles. Sounds like a crossover event.
I'm okay.
As in you'll pass? Is that what you said?
I kind of sort of like I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it.
Do we need
I
a
need to
crossover
know-
event at the end of a year of this new run?
Yeah. Right. I need to know the premise. I need to know where we're coming at from this like where
Yeah.
are we coming at from this like with these new like issues? Are we coming out of like I need to see how Krakoa ends before I
Yeah.
get really
I don't know
excited
what
to
the
get
status
to where
quo
we're
is going to
going.
be.
That's
Krakoa
it.
has
I
been-
don't know what the status quo is. And like they very much say that Krakoa is a thing that happened. Like the tag was like Krakoa showed the world what Homo Superior was capable of. Now mutants have to fight harder than ever to keep Xavier's dream alive. Like I want to know. So y'all established that Krakoa is still something that happened, but
right. It's not going to erase that Krakoa happened.
right.
But like
Which I'm
Krakoa's been
glad.
5 years, right? It started in 2019.
Yes.
So Krakoa
Right.
5 years. And
Okay, it's 5 years our
Maybe in
time.
their universe 3. In 3 years, I think it's 3 years in their universe because they've had 3 Hellfire Galas.
Well-
So and it's an annual thing. They say it's annual.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it's 5 years our time.
Yeah. Right.
It just would be such a shame if Krakoa wasn't like the backdrop of what's going on here, right? If like
Yes.
like Krakoa is such a big moment in all of these people's lives. Like we see Juggernaut
Right.
in the middle of this whole thing. Like Juggernaut got redeemed on Krakoa.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like that's
I mean, ish, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, they're a little bit before, but like he really got redeemed during Krakoa.
Yeah.
He joined an X-Men team on Krakoa.
And then right when he gets pummeled, and it sucks because I talked about
Well,
this
before
with
that, he
Aaron.
was on Legion of X. He was
Yeah.
on.
I talked about this
Legionnaires
with
and all.
Aaron because I had just listened to the Cerebrocast podcast with Juggernaut. How Juggernaut just never has a home, and
yeah,
and how like he finds a home with Krakoa, and then Hellfire Gala 3 happens, and then he just that's it. So what's also cool is that in one of the most recent issues of, I think it was Fall of the House of X #3, is that he has Krakoa on his back.
On his back, yes.
He is carrying his home on his back and like stopping Orcus from destroying it.
Just like a turtle.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Juggernaut.
I love his growth, Juggernaut, Kane Marco's growth, as long as they don't backtrack.
What I'm saying is that, like, it would just be such a shame if, you know, they were just back in the mansion and they're like, all right, the next adventure of the X-Men. Like, they have to be dealing with whatever the loss of Krakoa means to them, right?
Yes.
And someone has to be out there like, okay, we can still make it work, you know, like trying to make a mutant nation work while everyone else has moved on. Like, there has to be, you know, people dealing with the trauma of what happened in Krakoa.
Right.
Or, you know, trying to make Genosha happen again, or whatever, or Utopia, or whatever mutant nationalism means.
Right.
Supposedly each of these series will tackle a different, it says, according to this write-up, the 3 titles will center around one of the major aspects of what the team has been about at different points. So I think they're trying to borrow from different points in X-Men. Each team is kind of representative of this. So let's go team by team.
Exceptional clearly is like the New Mutants thing.
What's that?
I said Exceptional is clearly like their New Mutants.
It seems like
right.
It. Here's what we got. We got X-Men #1 by Jed MacKay on sale July 10th. It says, Krakoa is no more, but the X-Men fight on. From their new base in Alaska, the X-Men raise a flag of defiance. Join Cyclops, Beast, Magneto, Psylocke, Kid Omega, which is Quentin, Temper, who is Oya, Magic, and Juggernaut as they assemble against new forces, battling for the destiny and philosophy of the mutant species. Mutant business is their business. This is the title by Jed MacKay, art by Ryan Stegman. This seems to me like that one post-schism.
Yep.
It's the post-schism
Extinction team.
Is that what it's called?
Because I'm looking at it, looking at a lot of like original X-Men characters, like 60s characters, right? Like Cyclops, Beast, Juggernaut, and Magneto all appear in like original Lee Kirby issues. Yeah. And Betsy Braddock, you know, it originally comes from Captain Britain, which is like from the
Magic and Alaska seems like it's Cyclops' team from from that
from the extinction team from Utopia.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I love that team. That was one of my favorite teams. That was a powerhouse team too, and
this is a really strong team. Why are they this strong? This is a punch God in the mouth team.
Yeah, kind of though, very much so. Like all of them, like Magic and first of all, Magic. I'm always gonna love Cyclops and Magic together. They're like the best bros of all time, and I kind of love that. Like
you see best bros. I see purely professional, like them two. They're just
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what he means. Like they get each other.
Yeah,
they do. Right? They're himbos with each other. Like they just fight and like they just punch stuff together. And like she is like her. That's his road dog. Like if he's gonna do something, she's gonna be right there with him. Like yeah, let's do it. I'm ready for all of this.
Right, and she never asks him to do the emotional stuff, which is the stuff that Scott is the worst at. Right. And that's why he loves her. Like she doesn't have feelings. I mean, she has them,
right.
But she never asks more of Cyclops than he's willing to give.
That's it, exactly, and vice versa. Like he doesn't push because he knows what she's been through also, and like he doesn't ask for any more than what she's willing to give. And I love that they have their moments. Like if you haven't read Dimithri, if you haven't listened to her what's it called? Her Cerebrocast episode. It's pretty good. It's he talks about how she's basically a himbo, and she is like Magic is a total shimbo, and I love that for her.
I like that we've gone from bimbo to himbo to shimbo. Like she's not a bimbo. She's in no way a bimbo, but she's the female version of himbo.
She's a himbo. She doesn't think. She just likes to punch stuff and look good and like just wear like shorts, and that's all.
Yeah, I mean, she's had a lot of great moments throughout Krakoa, but I honestly
Oh my
think
gosh, yes.
X of Swords was like her zenith for me. Like her
Yeah.
and Cypher, like her preparing him for the
Yes.
for the best
For
scene.
what that means. Yes. That was a amazing scene, honestly. Hell, even her fight with Pog, like it was amazing.
Yeah.
She's
The next title is Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone and David Marquez. Issue number 1 comes out August 7th, so a month.
mhm,
Each of these 3 titles they're releasing in different months. So
yeah.
this line or this premise: outlaw heroes once again. The X-Men embark on a new mission, making themselves at home in the Big Easy. The X-Men protect a world that hates and fears them. Join Rogue, Gambit, Nightcrawler, Jubilee, and Wolverine on explosive superhero adventures. Uncanny as ever, the X-Men are back to saving the day mutant style. So this is the more straightforward, we're a superhero team.
Yeah, but this is like a Mutant Genesis team, right? Like this is
Yeah.
you have Logan and Kurt from from the from the whatever you call the Claremont
giant size X-Men.
Right.
Yeah.
giant size, right? And then you have obviously Rogue was
She was right there right
right,
there after
right
that.
after that. But like
Yeah.
Gambit and Jubilee both premiere at the end of Outback era going into
hmm
Right.
the 90s, and they're like almost more 90s characters than they are Claremont characters.
Right.
But just
Yeah,
this
for sure.
grouping is like, it just looks so 90s to me.
It's very
Yeah.
90s superhero team though, right? Like
For sure.
they're there to protect a world that hates and fears them, right? That's what it
But like, who's the leader of that team, by the way? Because I'm not sure
I think Rogue is.
You think Rogue is?
I would
Yeah.
hope Rogue is. I'm afraid Wolverine is.
I don't. Yeah, I feel like Rogue is going to be the leader. I mean, she was a leader of an Avengers team. I feel like
Right.
he'll probably cede to her like he did in that as well.
Yeah, and Gail Simone is writing this, and I would hope that Gail Simone would make that choice, right?
Yeah. Who's the brains on that team though?
I don't know the
Ooh,
brains,
that-
but
oh
the
my
heart
God.
is Kurt.
Jubilee, and that scares me. It's
The heart is
Jubilee is the brains in that because she's technically
Ah.
the smartest one.
Rogue.
Like, think
Rogue would
about
be
it.
the brains.
But Jubilee is the tech girl. Like she's the one who like
Is
knows
she?
how to do
Is
all
she?
the
Is she
yeah,
into
and
tech?
But she knows how to fix your computer?
she's just as good as Kitty. Yeah. Like
Okay.
she can do that. She's a pilot and all that good stuff.
It's like if the boomer asks me, they're like, how do I restart my computer? And I show them, and they're like, you are
You're-
a tech genius. It's like Wolverine is the boomer. He'd be like, Jubilee,
Shut up, yes.
Jubilee, my computer froze. Can you fix it? And she just like unplugs it and restarts it. Jubilee, the tech genius.
I love her update.
No.
That's a great updated jacket.
Rosa?
Yeah, I do like the updated jacket. Yeah, no, Jubilee's.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Again, this art is making her. I don't know. It is.
Just looks so. Yeah, I mean that's
it's
just
over-sexualized.
oversexed art, and she's a mom.
She's
She's a mother, yeah.
yeah,
I
she's
mean,
a mother.
Not biologically, but
We
she's
need
a,
to
we
figure
don't
out
talk
what's.
about.
We need to figure out what's going on with Shogo because Shogo's disappeared.
I was just about to say, Shogo's in the ether somewhere, and we just don't know where he is. Like he is.
Summers are out there.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I mean, we know
Out
where
there in the
Shogo
world.
is. He's in other worlds.
Are we
know.
shipping the two babies?
Is he though? I'm
Shipping
okay
two
with
babies.
it.
Let's not ship babies. Can we not?
Let's
Not
not ship
actually
babies.
ship them, but like
They,
you know.
if they were to be together, the two human born mutant
Oh yeah.
kids, yeah, for sure.
One can turn
I would be
into
okay
a
with it.
dragon.
Right. One's, magical and one's just, kind of the daughter of Kang the Conqueror, She's being raised by Kang somewhere in the world. So,
Somewhere.
who knows?
Yeah. And then the final of the 3 titles, Exceptional X-Men, that comes out September 4th, written by Eve L. Ewing, Carmen
yes, I love
Carnero
that.
doing the art. By the way, did you hear that like people got upset? They were like, Eve L. Ewing got the job because of nepotism by
Hilarious.
being married to Al Ewing or whatever. And it's like
They're not even married.
they're not related at all. They just have
Anyway.
At all.
they have the same last name. There's
Have you guys
different
seen,
races also.
Right? You like get out of here, guys.
Eve Ewing was writing Black Panther up until recently, right?
Is that
How
oh, okay.
do you
She
guys feel
wrote
about that?
Photon. The latest thing she wrote was
Yeah.
no, she also did write Black Panther. She is writing Black Panther now. Yeah.
Well, Black Panther just ended, I know.
Oh, did it? I thought it
Yeah,
was still going. Oh,
yeah,
that
they
makes
just
me
ended
sad.
it. I liked the Photon series. I was kind of bored by
Yeah.
Black Panther, but
I mean, I was the
Yeah, I haven't
opposite.
even finished it.
I was kind of bored by the Photon series.
that's fine.
I like
I
it.
liked it. The art
was-
is amazing. Like, well, actually, the cover art.
Look,
They
Anyway,
were
Photon was
trying.
another alternate universe thing, but I think that the main point of it was to kind of like make Monica Rambeau matter again.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Like they were kind of alluding that she was kind of a mutant as well in that.
Oh,
I don't know. Was it?
Like, yeah, the issue number 3 and 4, they talk about how she had this power when she was younger and an emotional trigger caused her power to come out. And the way they explain it that she was a mutant, but she didn't want to believe she was a mutant because she already had so much going on being this black woman in Louisiana or whatever. And then she just suppressed it until the Kree thing happened, and then it and the power reactivated again. So they make it seem like
I
she's
don't
always
know.
had that power.
I'm gonna have to go
Reread it.
back and
I'm
read
telling
it.
you.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
go back and
reread that
reread
issue
it.
because they very heavily imply that.
Yeah. So, Exceptional X-Men. The premise of it: mutant kind's two greatest teachers mold the next generation of X-Men. So this
Yeah.
is like a New Mutant sort of thing.
New Mutant Generation X.
Yeah. Kate
I mean,
Pride.
it's almost Marauders because I mean that was the partnership of Marauders
Very
Yeah.
true.
was Kate and
I kind of wish they had Storm in that.
It's just a weird lineup because why are they creating new mutants again? Because like there's so many mutants that are not in any of these
Also.
titles that I'm like, okay. So basically, Kate Pride has returned home to Chicago following the war with Orcus. Having stepped away from the world of mutantdom, she is nevertheless called back into action as she crosses paths with a trio of new young mutants, Bronze, Axo, and Melee, who clearly need training and guidance. Unfortunately for Kate, Emma Frost thinks so as well. So it's her, Emma Frost, and 3 brand spanking new mutants.
Like,
every generation has their own New Mutants, right?
Yeah,
Right.
but like here's the thing. We have 3 X-Men titles, and then we have coming later.
Ancillary ones. There's going to be a Storm.
Yeah.
There's
So we have Storm, Wolverine, Phoenix. Then we have
Yeah.
X-Factor, X-Force, and NYX.
great. Can't wait to see what X Factor and X Force are. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I want to know where they're going to go with NYX.
Right.
Because that was a very specific time for X-Men and Marvel stuff. So I want to see where they go with that, especially because that was an X-23 series. I want to see how they revamp this. It's probably just going to definitely be like I feel like it's going to be like a Mutant Town situation, kind of.
Yeah, that's what some people were saying. Yeah. What was it called? Mutopia?
No, it was Mutant.
It's called Mutant
that was
Town.
part of,
Yeah.
What was the title called?
Investigations. That was X Factor.
The Bishop
yeah,
title?
it was X Factor. Yeah. Oh, that was. Ooh, what was that?
There was a Bishop title where he was like sheriff of the town.
Oh my God, yeah, that was one of those things. X.
It wasn't
X
XLC.
something.
Yeah, it was
SX,
it was
yeah,
Mutopia
that's it.
X.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mutopia X was, and it was like, oh no, District X. You're right, District X.
That's it.
Then Mutopia X might have been the House of M tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
And that's where.
Or
where
you know what it
kinda
probably was? It was a mini series with what was his name? Absalom, Mercator Absalom.
Oh
Absalom
yeah,
Mercator.
yeah.
Yeah, that was probably that as well.
Not to derail us into other mutants, but have you guys been reading IDW's Ninja Turtles?
No.
I haven't, but my friend reads it.
It's also just ending and become like Jason Aaron is taking it over, which is interesting. But over the last, I'm going to say like 5 years of that title, they also have been doing like a Mutant Town story, like a part of like a mutant bomb went off and a bunch of people became like human animal hybrids, and so a part of Lower Manhattan gets cordoned off and becomes Mutant Town, and the Ninja Turtles become kind of like the governing body of Mutant Town. There's a lot of really good stuff in it. It again, like it goes off the rails in so many different ways, but there's a chunk there that is like such good comics. It's just really good, like internal politics of Mutant Town and all these people that like used to be their enemies, but now they're just citizens of Mutant Town. You know,
I love a political moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would check that out if you guys are interested in like that kind of concept.
Yeah,
I am, because that actually intrigues me.
Something I just wanted to say before we wrap things up is that I agree with people that they are upset that there's lack of racial representation in this X-Men lineup.
For sure. It's crazy, actually.
Is that Psylocke or Kanan? I guess it has
Kanan.
I think it's
yeah.
By the way, is there a canon pronunciation? Because I always say Quanon.
It's Kanon.
Kanon.
I didn't know that. Quanon, yeah, my bad. It's Quanon, my bad.
Is it a qua? Because I know that Connor Goldsmith says it differently, so I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently, that's how you're supposed to say it. I didn't. I forget though. I think it's Quanon. I don't know.
I love that Connor is now like the
right.
Just
go-to aficionado.
Yeah, like we defer to Connor in all things.
Kind of though, right?
all X-Men commentary comes under the shadow of Connor Goldsmith.
Right. Because of him, I now believe that Cyclops is autistic, and I kind of believe that's canon in my head for sure. Like if you like that whole episode of Cyclops, I'm like the way he explains it, I'm like, oh shit, I think I've misread this guy, because I hated that man worth try. Like when I tell you. Cyclops couldn't. I hated. I hated him. Like the whole what he did to Madeline Pryor can never be forgiven. But the way he reads that about how he tells her to go, she tells him, if you leave, never come back, and he takes that quite literally. Like right, and he takes that quite literally and just never comes back. I'm like, he's like, that's an autistic move. I'm like, oh my god, have I just been misreading?
How did you feel about episode 3? I don't want to take
on. Oh my god, thank you for saying that. I'm gonna start by saying I'm a Madeline Pryor stan. But I wanted more. I felt like it should have been an arc. I feel like that should have been at least a 3-part arc for us to get to know Madeline, have us hate her, love her, and understand why she's doing it, and then have it. And I feel like that was too quick of an ending for the Inferno issue. I feel like the Inferno deserved like at least two parts. Like I wanted that to
fully agree with you. I thought that the fastness of that episode, the pacing of that episode, made Cyclops look so much worse. Like no one was acting like a person that whole episode. Like Beast comes in and just in front of everybody is like, she's the real one, you're fake.
You're fake. Yes.
And I'm just like, bro, you're a doctor. Like, pull her aside.
Right.
I can't blame Cyclops because it was quick. I can't blame him because he was just trying to get his bearings straight. And sure, 5 minutes to him to get his bearings straight is like a lifetime for Maddie to realize her world was falling apart. I get that, but I can understand it because it's faster. Instead of Cyclops taking months. I thought the
speed of it was such a weakness.
Time to go see her. Yeah.
Like Cyclops sitting on it for months is way worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. He literally goes to the baby. He goes, "I'll never abandon you," and then turns around and jets. And it just like doesn't make sense. I could not. To me, that episode felt like a trailer for Inferno. It felt like a cut together scenes, and there wasn't connective tissue between them.
Yes, even the fact of her power, like first of all, I want to say I do like the effect, the little purple and green effect of her power. I thought that was a
Yeah, that
nice
was kind of
touch.
dark web, right? Like it kind of pulled in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly what it reminded me of.
And then it was
And
Sailor Moon style.
That was great.
oh, I lived for the Sailor Moon transformation that she did. It was it served what it needed to for me. I thought it definitely appealed to my gay side. I'm not gonna hold you guys. Um, but no, the fact of we get this whole moment of her doing this manipulation of reality kind of thing where we don't get the explanation of how she just magically got these powers, like, and they try to make it seem like she's using her telekinetic powers to manipulate the reality around them, which is a
Okay.
cool thing because technically Jean has done feats of like being able to transform form her clothes into like her uniform, like she can actually telekinetically move things on a molecular level. That's cool. I get that. But also it feels like they just gave her magic without explaining how she got that. Like I
Well, it
feel like we
wasn't
should have
magic,
gotten
right?
the
It
Well,
was her mutant power manifest, like looking like magic. So
it felt like
I'll say I
right.
assumed that what was going on was in everyone's heads. I assumed that it was.
yeah,
I
That's what I
assumed.
thought too.
I thought it was not that it was telekinesis, that it was telepathy.
it could be both. It could
That's
Yeah,
what I
be.
thought. You're right.
it certainly could have been, but that's what I assumed watching the whole episode was that they took Inferno, which was real demons, and they decided, okay, it's
Hmm.
happening in everyone's head.
In his mind, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about for that, but we got a whole other show that I talked about. So, I do want to say that I looked up because I say Quanon,
Mhm.
but supposedly it's Kanon, and it is
Kanon.
the same as the company Canon.
Kanon.
Right? They come from the same place because it's like a Japanese deity or something.
Yeah.
It's a goddess of mercy,
Mercy? Yeah.
and it depends because it's changed cultures.
Hmm.
And so there's a kind of a difference, but the etymological origin is the same for Psylocke and for the electronics company Canon that we call Canon.
Crazy.
And so it is what it is. Anyway, do you guys, what is the Ruby of Juggernaut? What's that demon called? How do you say it?
Sidorak.
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 I'm the only person, and I'm okay.
Ye-
I say Cytorak.
Yeah. You're the only
Well,
person.
I say the Crimson Gem of Cytorak.
It seems like so
It's
much
a special
harder to
person.
say.
Demons
Yeah.
don't care. You think demons want an easy?
No, it's just Sidorak sounds like someone's name. Cytorak
Right. You know,
sounds like, I don't know,
it sounds
a
sinister.
medication.
Cytorak sounds like
Oh my
a.
god, it does.
Cytorak to me sounds like a monster.
Okay.
Come get you some Cytorak.
Cytorak.
Get 20
I
milligrams.
don't call him Kazar either. He's Kazar.
Oh
I
yeah, it's
call him
Khazar.
Kazar.
You call him
Yeah,
Kazar?
I'm a Kazar.
I call him
Yeah.
Khazar
He's Kazar.
because then
Because-
there's
Now that's
because then
Kazar.
there's
That's
Quasar.
That's Tarzan. Tarzan Kazar. Tarzan Kazar. You know what I mean?
Is it?
I get where you're going with that. Okay. I can see the thought process in which it clicked there. Okay. I can- I approve it for you. I love that for you.
But here's why people hate me, because I think it's Magneto. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say I think I have to go, guys. I just have a cold.
When I was teaching kids, I had a shirt that said Magneto was right, and this kid came up, and it became this running joke. This kid came up and goes, "Who's Magento?"
That's funny.
And it became this ongoing joke of a
Magento
guy named Magento.
Hilarious. God.
Magenta is right.
I'm not
Magento
gonna
was
lie
right.
though. I need me a Magneto's was right t-shirt now, especially after episode 2.
It's funny because there's also the DC Comics villainess Magenta, who is Magneto.
That's right.
She has magnetic
Yeah.
powers.
She does have magnetic powers.
Yeah,
Does she?
She does.
Magenta.
Does Magenta not?
Magenta was played by actress Joey King on the CW Flash.
As I Google
She's
Magento.
Wally West's girlfriend before he meets Linda.
Yeah.
No fucking way, guys.
She also
Yeah.
joined. She either joins the
Wally
Titans.
West had a girlfriend before Linda.
Yeah, she teams up with the Titans. She like almost joins the Titans, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks because she actually looks kind of cool though,
Cool.
and
yeah,
like the whole thing. I'm like, oh, this looks like you could be a character for real, but copyright infringement and all that won't allow you to be great. Like,
no, they could do it. It's a different name.
They could do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: how long did it take for Captain Marvel to get his shine for real?
Which Captain Marvel? That's the problem.
Shazam! Oh, you're right. Shazam! Like,
Guys, are you reading the Mark Waid? Are you reading the Mark Waid book?
I've only read the first. I read the first issue, but I actually like it. I need to read more.
It's the best Shazam has ever been, as far as I'm concerned. Like people love Jerry Ordway. I just don't care about that series. Like it's beautiful or whatever, but like he made him the captain. He's just the captain.
Yeah.
They're just avoiding the whole thing altogether. It's like, so now he has a name at least. He's the captain, and he says Shazam.
What's Mary's name though?
I like that.
Mary is Mary Marvel.
It is Mary.
Yeah,
Marvel,
she goes
right?
by Mary Marvel. Yeah.
It's like Mary fucking Marvel.
Yeah.
And I love that she doesn't have the same. She's powered by different gods now. Like she's not powered by the same
goddesses.
She's powered by that.
Right?
Yeah, the Amazon the goddesses. I love that.
She's been appearing in Amazon's Attack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love.
Yes, that just ended, right? That's the last issue.
I think so.
Yeah, episode issue 6. I'm reading it tomorrow.
We are gonna derail this conversation, so we gotta wrap this up.
Right.
I want to talk about Wonder Woman.
This is not This is not State of W. This is State of X.
Let's talk about all comic books.
That's what Comic Talk is for.
What are you guys doing for the next 2 hours? Can we talk about all comic books?
Right.
Can we talk about how Arrowette had a moment this week in Green Arrow?
That was my pick of the week, I think.
Was Arrowette's return?
It was Green Arrow. It was that issue of Green Arrow.
Yeah, all the female sidekicks showing up. That was so good.
I liked it.
Meaning to read that. Is it good, guys? Is the Green Arrow series good?
Jeremy Adams is, despite myself, one of my favorite writers right now.
I just met him. I met him.
I did not want to like him because I did not like his Flash, but his Robin got me. A bunch of shit that he's written.
Jay Garrick book. I love his Jay Garrick book.
Oh, I only read the first issue.
Jeremy Adams is writing Jay Garrick the Flash right now.
Yeah. Am I high? I'm thinking of someone else. Oh, it's Jeremy Adams. No, Jeremy Adams isn't writing Green Arrow. I'm thinking of someone else.
Who's writing?
Josh Williamson is who I'm thinking of.
Oh, Josh Williamson.
I love Jeremy Adams. Jeremy Adams is so high on the list because his Wally West series was fucking phenomenal.
You're giving us whiplash. What is going on?
I'm sorry. I don't need to know everyone's name.
Yeah, I met Jeremy
Josh
Adams.
Williamson. I did not think much of Josh Williamson, but like his Robin series won me over, and like his Green Arrow is good.
Yeah.
His Superman is pretty good. So
I met Tim Sheridan and Jeremy Adams the other day at WonderCon. So
nice.
I'm a huge.
I talked to them about coming on the podcast. So
Ooh, okay.
There was a signing when Cy Spurrier relaunched Flash or somewhere around there where there was a signing with Jeff Johns, Mark Waid, and Jeremy Adams all together.
What?
Or I think that was a signing for 1 Minute War. I think that's what happened.
Oh, okay.
Like they were putting 1 Minute
I
War.
would shit my pants. Jeff Johns and that's them alone. He is the reason I fell in love with comic, like the Teen Titans comic. Like
Aaron, are you in LA?
No, I'm in Florida. I mean, in South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Because Jeff is like our local comic book guy.
Really?
He owned a comic book store for a while here in Sherman Oaks. He was our owner of Earth too.
I would.
So he's at science.
We're going down a rabbit hole. All right, I gotta land this plane. All right.
The rabbit hole. Okay.
I gotta land this plane. Kind of like maybe hopefully better than Krakoa. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for coming on this show and talking State of X. Everything X-Men. Hopefully, by people listening to this podcast, they learn a little bit more about X-Men and they get caught up a little bit. And then they can hop on to whatever it is. It's going to be a new start for X-Men comics soon. For better or for worse, it's a new start. New jumping on points for people. So hopefully,
better or for worse.
I think I'm going to push my energy not into getting people to finish Krakoa, but to make... to prep people for the next couple months to hop on these new titles. I think maybe that's where my energy is gonna go, because like I want people on this journey with us, you know.
Look, there's an old Raymond Chandler story. You know who Raymond Chandler was, like the crime writer.
Okay.
And one of his books was made into a movie. It was called The Lady of the Lake, and people hated it. Right? It was a bad movie. And someone came to him, and they're like, "Oh, Mr. Chandler, your book was ruined. They ruined your book." And he goes to his bookshelf and he pulls it off the shelf. He's like, "No, it's fine. It's right here. No one ruined anything." So, whatever changes happen in X-Men, look, I'm currently reading like early Claremont from 1981 or whatever.
Right.
I'm reading Fabian Nicieza and Scott Lobdell from the 90s. Like, there's always X-Men to read.
Right. Krakoa will always be a moment in time that we will always look on and look with grace. And I will always say it is probably still some of the best X-Men books that have been created. To be honest, it's probably some of the best era of X-Men.
We got 2 more months before this age ends, because it's gonna end literally. I think it's like May 29th is like the final issue or whatever.
Yeah,
so
like you said, for better or for worse.
I it's been nice to be on this Krakoan journey, and it just so happened to coincide with TikTok and COVID and like being able to talk about stuff online with people. Like, it's been 5 years, right? Like, that's half. That's like most of this Keeg run. It's half of this Keeg run, but like the point being is that like, thank you guys so much for coming on here and talking about stuff, because honestly, like,
of course,
I don't know, like if none of this podcast happened, all this stuff happened, like I don't know, like Aaron, I wouldn't know you. I probably wouldn't know Gil. Right. Like, it's been nice. So either way, thank you guys so much for coming on and talking. Before we get going, where can people find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug? Aaron, you want to go first?
Of course. So you can of course find me at King Krakoa on TikTok, Twitter, and Discord. You can find me at King of Thrones on TikTok as well, and also on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yep. I also do a podcast called Life Friends that we do every 2 weeks.
Awesome. Good stuff. Gil?
As always, you can find me at Gil Baron. I'm promoting my shows at all times. You should be coming out and seeing. We do a show with Jodie Sweetin at the Bourbon Room here in Hollywood. It's called Family Dinner. We already have our lineup for April announced. It's going to be a special Passover edition. It's going to be all Jewish comedians. It's going to be. I think I might be breaking this news right now. We have Ben Glebe, Ian Carmel, and Nicole Amy Schreiber on the next Family Dinner. It's going to be such a fucking cool show. And the next Pop Cultured at UCB with Jimmy Pardo. Obviously, it's always Jimmy Pardo, who's always amazing. Bobby Moynihan is going to be on the next episode. Come out to UCB. Come check us out. Thank you. If not, you guys can always watch our shows streaming by going to ucbtheater.com. So you'll be able to find us streaming.
I didn't know that. Is that new?
It's new. The Bourbon Room, I don't think is streaming just yet, but UCB is going to be streaming Pop Cultured. But we were already streaming on Nowhere Comedy Club, so definitely be checking out Nowhere Comedy Club. Pay attention to our socials. One show is at Pop Cultured Game, and the other is at Famdin Show. And you can see all the fun comedy with all the cool celebrities and doing cool shit.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for being on this and getting down in the nitty gritty about X-Men. For anyone out there watching us, you're watching us live at twitch.tv/The Keeg Show or youtube.com/The Keeg Show. Shout out to Modern Merlin in our chat saying 2 streams 1 day. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, it was an X-Men double feature. And then shout out to, even though they showed up just for one thing, Trowa Barton 2 says, woo, new X-Men app. So, I don't know what that's talking about, but, yes. If you are on social media, you can follow us at The Keeg Show on TikTok and Instagram. Those are our 2 biggest ones. There's also Twitter and Facebook and Threads and all that stuff. Or you're listening to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to patreon.com/The Keeg Show. I promise you, I will be better about Patreon going forward, especially with this new Keeg logo that we have. We got a new Keeg logo. So, you know, that's cool. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Find a comic shop near you, comicshoplocator.com. Support your local comic shops. Also, there's Marvel Unlimited app. There's the DC Universe Infinite app. I think there's still Comixology. There's local libraries. Support your local libraries. All that good stuff. There are books out there just waiting for you guys to read. No excuses. If you want to know what to read, you can talk to any of us three. You know where to find us. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening to State of X, our monthly Mutant X-amination. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera. Aaron and Gil, say bye to everybody. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.